Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today. I have a review here for a Spider-Man book called Symbiote Spider-Man, Alien Reality. And this is apparently the second miniseries that was done by Peter David. There was the first one. I think I reviewed it for this channel. I think. And it was okay. It had some good stuff in there. Spider-Man in the black costume. It's kind of like a reimagining about what happened after Secret Wars. Some new adventures. He doesn't know the suit is alive. The suit is alive. It doesn't tell Spider-Man or Peter or whatever you want to call him. But the first story was, Spider-Man versus Mysterio. And that was a very detailed, interesting story from Peter David. The guy who does so much stuff in comics, who has for ages now. And this one here I was excited to read because I saw on the cover we had the Hobgoblin in here. And I'm a huge fan of the Hobgoblin because of the 90s series. Animated series, that is. Basically, Alien Reality is like a sort of kind of alternate timeline story. I wish comics did more things like this. And once again, it's written by Peter David, if I haven't said that already. The art is done by Greg Land, who is a phenomenal artist. I've really loved his work on the first book, and especially this book. Alternate timeline storyline. Basically, Peter's in the middle of a fight with Kraven the Hunter at an airport of all things. And all of a sudden everything changes and Peter thinks, am I going crazy? Because Kraven stops attacking him. And then when he leaves, other little things have changed in his life. Whether it be Uncle Ben being brought back to life, but even leading up to that, you'll have little things like apparently the biggest change up here is that somehow the Hobgoblin became the Sorcerer Supreme. So Doctor Strange has become like a homeless man and has to team up with Peter. And they have to go on an adventure to try to find this book that will essentially restore things to the way they were. But now, like, Black doesn't exist. Black Cat is actually Black Widow, who is dressed up in the Black Cat Felicia costume. And that is some sexy stuff. They did not hold back for a modern day comic from like 2020, 4 years ago, I think is what the copyright says on this page here. They did not hold back at all of, making Black Widow look good, dude. Anyway, I enjoyed this. I liked how there were a little bit of plot twists here and there and some turns here and there. There was a couple of villains in here. I don't remember their names as I read this, but it was stuff that they were characters I don't remember ever hearing about, ever seeing, so, make of that what you will. But I thought this was a cool adventure. One of the best things about it was some of the throwbacks to back in the day. One of the biggest things I used to think was so goofy in my uncle's comics that he gave me, or not that he gave me, but my family gave me after he passed away, probably about 15 years ago, were the comics when Spider-Man basically had a small dune buggy that he drove around, and it was themed after his costume. It was red and blue, and it had red Spider-Man masks on the wheels. It was great. It was stupid. It made no sense why Spider-Man needed to have that, but he did. And this book kicks off with Spider-Man getting that after the whole world changed up on him, which was super bizarre to me. I'm trying to think of some of the other changes that happened here, too. Well, anyway, I talked about like the whole Hobgoblin thing, him terrorizing the world. Apparently, he still knows who Spider-Man is. There are moments of how Doctor Strange realizes that the symbiote costume is alive, but for some reason, he doesn't tell Peter, and I don't understand why, even before they restore the universe to what it used to be. I don't really get what's happening there, It was a very strange choice. But I liked all the stuff that happened here. I thought it was pretty fun. A little bit more engaging, a little bit better of a book, I would say, like a 4 out of 5 stars type of book, compared to the first book that I thought was, beautifully drawn. I like Mysterio sometimes, depending on who's doing it. Peter David did a good job there. This was overall better, though. It was kind of cool having Hobgoblin here. I never thought I would see him and Peter in the black symbiote suit going up against each other. One of the other things I forgot to bring up, too, and talk about was that Doctor Strange has to, since he still has a lot of his abilities, but not everything, being a homeless man since the world changed, he has to take Peter away to this, like, Arctic world. It's some kind of training facility. I'm not familiar with a lot of Doctor Strange lore. I've never read anything Doctor Strange. mostly crossover stuff, but he has to go somewhere. It's kind of like the hyperbolic time chamber, like in Dragon Ball Z, where it's like you go to this place and it can be like a year of fighting and training in that place is only an hour in reality outside of the hyperbolic time chamber. And Doctor Strange has to teach Spider-Man for years, which is really weeks at this point, on how to learn all of these things. So you kind of have Peter not only being Spider-Man, but also doing some magical stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. There's some moments that kind of cheat, you know, some kind of bullshit cheat moments, because Peter's smart, you know. I thought that was some horse shit, but it doesn't matter. It was still fun, and that's what I read comics for, as entertainment. I don't read to be enlightened. I don't read to do whatever that people do for reading. I just read to be entertained, and this was super entertaining for what it was, and the art accommodated it so well all the way through. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to bring up. I don't think I really have much more of anything. It was kind of cool seeing Morbius here, by the way. But yeah, I think it would be nice to see more stuff with Spider-Man doing magic. That would be kind of rad. I don't know what you could do that in. Maybe in a video game. Maybe like a Lego video game. Why have they not done a Lego Spider-Verse game? Can I ask you that? I think that's an important question to ask. Anyway, have you read Symbiote Spider-Man? I guess this is technically Volume 2, but these don't really seem to be connected. They're all like different miniseries, and I think there's 3 of them. There may be more. I don't know. But Alien Reality was easily the best one out of the first 2 to me. So I recommend it if you haven't seen it before. Check it out. It's good, especially if you like Doctor Strange stuff and Hobgoblin and Spider-Man, and the idea of magical Spider-Man sounds kind of cool too to me. So anyway, it was good to see the Dune buggy back, man. I loved that. That was, again, a stupid thing in Spider-Man's history. It was a very comic book thing in Spider-Man's history for a man who does not need a car. But it was cool. It made it nice to see something like that again. So anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.